guys. So we're here with Will and Trevor, who are a food content creator and a travel vlogger. Welcome, and how are you finding Abu Dhabi?
Good, thanks. Yeah, we're loving it. Yeah, it's really nice to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, just got here. I can't wait to explore the area.
Okay, and have you been to VidCon in the US before or anything like that?
I've never done VidCon, but we've done similar stuff like this.
This is my first VidCon, so I'm really excited to be here. It's really cool to see like so many different pavilions and
just an industry around this type of content and creators. How did you guys get into content creation?
For me, I mean, I've been doing it before I knew it was a thing. Like since I was 12, 13, 14 years old, I always videoed. I had the camcorder and I would video myself, and when I would travel, I would put music on it and edit it. So I was vlogging before I knew that the vlogging thing was a concept. And then after I graduated college, I learned about the vlog concept. It was like right when Casey Neistat first started vlogging. So I just started doing that in Southeast Asia because no one was doing it there. So I was just lucky to be one of the first people to do it. And then it just kind of took off from there.
So were you like Casey Neistat? Did you start off on YouTube? Were you in that vlogging style, but you'd already been doing it, but then you kind of go, okay, I'm going to do it that as well over here?
And then I started out just doing it like every other day, working it up to every day, just my life, just traveling around Southeast Asia, predominantly the Philippines. And just basically did I took the Neistat format and did it in Asia, and it worked.
Smart. Nice. What about you, Trevor?
Yeah, for me, fairly similar. I was always making videos. Like as a kid, I just loved to put music on like something and make it kind of entertaining. And then I decided to move to China in 2014, and I was teaching English there, and my dream was kind of like to start a channel, and the teaching English was like what allowed me to do it. And within about a year, our channel grew. My wife and I, we were working together, and the channel grew where we could sustain ourselves. And it was like a lot of fun going out and exploring local street food, going to the markets, trying tons of different variations of noodles all around China. Like it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Amazing. And were you into the food industry? Did you know about food, or how did you kind of gravitate towards that type of content?
Yeah, for me it was just like the most fun part of traveling. Trying out the local foods, and I found that wherever we went, there's like always new things to try, but also the people are just so friendly everywhere we traveled. So I tried to incorporate the locals everywhere, and people really like that.
Did you go with a plan to become a YouTuber?
No, like it was kind of like I didn't really think, I want to be a YouTuber. I just thought I want to travel and I want to make videos.
And did you think you'd make money out of it eventually?
I don't know. Like it was kind of like just a backup plan. Like maybe I could make something out of this one day, or be able to travel, because my dream was just to be able to travel and make friends and try food and maybe put something positive out like in the world. And it grew into something where I could do that full time.
That's a good question. Thanks, Will. But what's the turning point then on both of your contents when you recognize that people are making an industry out of this or a business out of this, and B, then how you could do it? What are the did you have to make a decision and a commitment to that, and then what are the things that followed?
So for me, when I was in the Philippines, I had met a lot of Americans, Israelis, a few Europeans that were young, just late 20s, but they had these huge companies. And I studied business in college, and I've always been like looking for, how do I create a business out of something? I just need a new idea, but that idea never came. And then once I saw Casey Neistat's vlog, it was in his first month of vlogging. I was inspired and motivated, and then I just understood that was going to blow up. He hadn't blown up yet, but I knew he was going to blow up. And I figured what a lot of people do in Southeast Asia is they copy these business models that work in the US or that work in Europe, and they bring it to the Philippines, and then they become like millionaires. I've met all these guys who did that. So I was just looking how to do that, and then I did that with the vlog, and I made the vlog a business, and I didn't expect to make money at all for a while, and I didn't because you're just uploading, you're investing, and it took a year or so to pick up until I can really make money, which is actually a really short amount of time. That's a short amount of time.
Yeah,
Some
a year.
people invest years. Like I grinded for a year.
Yeah.
And eventually it picked up, and then it blew up in the Philippines. So that is I think like more than 50% of my audience overall is in the Philippines. Yeah. Because I guess I became associated with vlogging in the Philippines. Yeah. So luckily I was just one of the first to do it.
Amazing. But so you knew you were vlogging, so that meant usually YouTube or other platforms, they had a YouTube partner program, so you knew that you could monetize through rev share.
I just knew that I understood influencer marketing before influencer was a thing. I just knew that if I have an audience of tens of thousands of people, then you can monetize that audience with a product.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what product I would have eventually, but again, at the end of the day, I want to run a business. So whether I have make a business of food or coconut oil or merchandise, anything, that business will thrive if you have an audience.
Like the old school way with an email list, right? You can you can do it that way too.
Reach people that way. And how did you kind of turn it into something that you do more regularly now?
Yeah, it's similar to Will, just like grinding every day. Like for a year, it took maybe about a year of experimentation, trying out different video formats, trying out different styles of street food, like or restaurants, and eventually found something that worked. I think that's one of the things that we as creators have to do, is experiment over and over and over again until something works. And then when you find something that works, you just do it again and again and again, and then you can grow. So for us, it was street food, like local street markets, going into the markets, trying out food from the vendors, interacting with the vendors. Like for me, that's what grew the channel. Before that, I was going to restaurants, but what really took it to the next level was when we went into the local markets, like the farmers markets, and try the local dishes. Like people love that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And do you like all these different cuisines? Do you have to know what you're eating, or is that the exploration part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to do a little research before and learn about it. I try to let the locals explain or have them, because they're the experts. As a traveler, wherever you go in the world, you're always like the locals know way more, right? Yeah. So I try and get the locals to explain and showcase their amazing food. Yeah.
Agree, 100%. So I do videos like him. It's just I don't only do food videos. I just throw in a food video like once a month, and same thing. I always go to the market, local place, street food. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But I go into these things not knowing anything, because I just assume that my followers and viewers don't know anything. Yeah. So they're able to relate with me, and then that's the hack. You just ask the question, so they explain everything, and you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to pretend to be the expert on everything.
Yeah.
You can just allow the locals to showcase the food, and
and you deliver it in a way that can resonate. That's sort of
a
personal way of communicating online.
That's the real trick, is you have to think of your audience that also knows nothing. You have to deliver it in a way that's simple, because a lot of the time people will explain it to you in a complicated way, or something that makes sense to them in the local country, but you have to break it down simple so your audience can understand it.
How do you go from, if you've got a viral video, or if you've got something that people like, I think you touched on it there about sustaining it, but I can think of a lot of creators who had a big thing, like when you were talking about viral content back from around 2020, 2011, I remember a guy called Dancing Matt, and he did that dancing in every city around the world, and he was sponsored by chewing gum, but then it kind of fizzled out. Like how do you go, okay, this video, people like this, but and then if they do the same thing, they won't be bored, and then to keep it going and to kind of build the community.
Well, we're old YouTubers, like in our YouTube age. We both started around 2014, 2015.
You got in early.
Yeah, and we've seen
Everything.
Like, top creators come and leave and come and leave, and we're still around because we just keep going. So if we're failing, we just keep going. We keep trying something new.
Yeah.
Keep innovating.
Dude, it's about having like that just mental fortitude. And because a lot of people get really emotional, and when everything drops, then they just want to quit. They want to give up.
You can't quit.
Yeah. You just have to keep going, and if it's not working out, you find something new.
If it's
I mean, my
algorithms or even the audience kind of changing and things like that?
Oh yeah, my audience
always
from
changing.
5 years ago are completely different from what they are today, and my life and my personality, everything's like it's changed. My content. Yeah.
And if you're struggling, and like for example, if you got some viral hits and then it goes down, it just goes to show that you need to try something new. You can't always do the same thing. You have to try something new, and if that doesn't work, try something new again until something does work. And it, like for us, it'll always be travel or food, but there's so many different ways you can package that into something that works. So,
and do you write down a roadmap? Either like, do you do content planning? Do you have a plan of your videos? And then also, do you do brand planning? Do you go, hey, this is my brand name, these are my revenue streams, and this is the team that I need more editors, I need more things like that. Do you do that stuff?
When I first started out, I was very kind of like strategic and analytical, because it was like, I'm investing all this time, I'm losing money.
Opportunity cost,
So I wanted to make every video like really good, but now since we've been around for so long, I just take all these opportunities and I kind of just vlog with whatever time I have, because we get like 10 things thrown at us and we just pick whichever one interests us the most and or pays us the most, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it is now as an established content creator. You just pick and choose, and all this stuff is always coming at us. And my biggest issue in life, and has been for years, is saying no. Because I just say yes to too many things, because it's almost like you have to feel grateful because you remember where you started, where you didn't have much money and you didn't have opportunities. So to be grateful, I feel like I need to just say yes and get as much money and opportunities and travels that I can. But I just have to remember to like just space it out and not say yes to everything, because ultimately you can't completely enjoy something if your mind is somewhere else thinking about another project or another country that you still haven't edited.
Well said. And regarding the I'd like to also to add, just maybe for the content part, like I think, I don't know about you, Will, but I go like maybe 60-70% planning, and then like 30% on the fly, like whatever comes. Like if we're on a food trip or a trip and we've got all these restaurants, like for one day we've got 5 spots planned, we'll try and hit them all. But if there's something on the road like that looks exciting, we'll just stop and shoot it.
More spontaneous.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like 70-80% non-planned and 10 to 20%.
Oh, okay,
Interesting.
That's good.
Different approach.
But for me, spontaneity is what works. And
I guess it's different because yours might be like travel, so it's more open, right?
Yes.
But mine is food. I have to choose the restaurants. I have to choose the stalls and the restaurants, right?
When I'm doing food videos, I'm definitely more planned on the food. Like we need to eat these 3 foods today. So for sure.
It's different approach.
Unless it's a market, then it's all open.
Yes.
You just go in and try things.
And I always go into a market and I usually ask 2 questions. Give me the most popular food, give me the weirdest food. Whether it's a goat head or balls or I eat anything.
Same.
Because it just interests me.
You mentioned weird, because that's a genre in itself, right? Like you see the Snapchat Discover section and it's just the titles of the shows are weird. But talking about that, and opportunity cost, do you have FOMO when you see creators sort of blowing up on other platforms, or do you think that you should be creating content for channels like Snapchat Spotlight or YouTube Shorts or things like that? How do you make choices to distribute your content everywhere?
I don't really have that FOMO because
I don't have FOMO because I don't have anyone who's too similar to me.
you're happy on YouTube. You're not you're on other channels, of course, but you're
I've had friends blow up on TikTok, and then during the lockdown, I did TikTok because I couldn't travel, and my TikTok kind of blew up. Then I see other people blowing up on TikTok, and it's like, oh, I should be doing that. But then I remember when I did blow up on TikTok, the reason why I didn't go back is because it's not monetized.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, if there was another platform which had in-stream ads, and then I would be like, okay, I gotta get on there. But TikTok, I think, especially in maybe food, like for me, it's hard to take a sponsorship. Like, we don't really do much at all.
To do sponsored
we don't do
videos
any. Like, pretty much 99% of our income is on YouTube and Facebook.
So it's not product placements, brand isn't reaching out.
It's just
so it's basically
getting views.
Exactly.
Dude, do you get brand deals? Like they reach out to you and you just decline them?
People reach out, but we just don't really like do them because
it's awkward for you?
Well, it just doesn't connect with me or the audience or the content. Like, it doesn't feel natural unless it was something really that connects, like maybe like an airline or maybe even a hotel. But even that is like
tourism, maybe.
Yeah, or tourism. But usually those don't really have much of a budget. So we like to. It's a win-win because we get to just be authentic and create the content that we want, and that works. It works even better because then we get more views. As soon as we take something that, even if it's kind of connected, the views might go down because people,
That's where we differ, because my 90% of my income, I don't know the exact amount, maybe 90%, is like through endorsements and
brand deals,
branded deals. And I don't mind doing a commercial at the beginning of my video. And then going and doing my video, because at the end of the day, I think at least my audience could just skip the commercial. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I just pass forward through the commercial.
That's a good call. Yeah.
So.
But the creator economy, the revenue that these platforms are putting towards, like YouTube kind of did it at the start, but now they all seem to be moving in that direction. Not brilliantly, but Facebook have some. Twitter, there's a monetization option. Spotlight on Snapchat, and then other, I know Instagram are testing a lot of this stuff. Do you kind of would you build your teams around that? Would you create teams, and would you kind of go, hey, I'm doing this content really well, but if I put it on 5 other channels, I could get 10 cents for every stream, and then kind of build it that way?
That's a good point. No, if Instagram was monetized, then I would definitely hire another editor, and they would just be cutting up my vlogs and throwing out more content on Instagram. Since at least the money cycles back, and even if I'm not making money, at least as long as it's paying for itself.
Exactly. If those platforms had monetization, it would be a big draw for creators. I think that the problem is that they're struggling to put monetization in. I don't know. I'm just guessing because.
So from a media company point of view, like we kind of have to, design around that. Like we kind of have to chase that, right? Because, Snapchat Discover, if you have a big show there, it's as profitable as YouTube. And then if you do a live stream and if you slice up that video on Twitter Media Studio 5 times throughout the day, you'll get a cut on that. But you have to be whitelisted. And what I find is, a lot of content creators don't know how much they could be doing as revenue share in that space. So
Snapchat can have monetization, or is it like
on the Snapchat Discover section it's as lucrative as YouTube.
Really?
It's really good.
So that's with in-stream ads, or that's just them paying directly?
They have paid people to get going at the start, but
okay.
It's 50-50 in-stream ads.
Oh.
We have a show in Saudi Arabia that does I think 6 billion top snap views in 18 months, and it's 30% of our business revenue.
Wow.
One show. So there's a lot of things.
That's amazing.
Happening there. Do you have talent management teams? Do you how do you build your do you do everything yourself?
So when we met 2 years ago, we did everything ourselves. We edited, we filmed. Now I think we're at the same point where I have 3 YouTube channels, and then I have an editor for my vlog channel who edits maybe 1 video a week. I have an editor on my main channel who I usually do most of the edit, but then she'll add effects, color grade, and clean it up and stuff.
Nice.
And then on my third channel, that's my podcast, I have an editor and then like a producer who kind of interviews them before and writes a script and just
Smart.
So
Yeah.
now I have a team, and now life is way easier
Yeah.
than back in the day.
Yeah, we used to just grind through like the edits, but now I think I've also got a couple editors, and they help with the editing to get the content up faster, and it's a growing pains in the beginning, like because it's something that you love so much, you're so used to putting all your touches on it, you know. And to take that away, it's really hard in the beginning.
It's
especially
the most difficult thing that I've ever been through in my career.
Letting go.
Letting go.
And having someone touch your creation and change it, and make it not 100% yours, but as long as it's good enough, you know.
Yeah, but over time, you can sort of train that person to understand what you like, and it does
takes forever,
it just takes a while,
and it takes so much time.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it's good. And then they might quit in a year, and then it's like, you have to do it again. You have to take a month out of your life and train someone.
But it's worth it.
But you're still hands-on, and it comes through that you're still passionate about the content. You're not going, hey, you know, like you just do whatever you want. You're still
for sure. And I do a final cleanup. I always clean everything up in the end. I touch it up. Exactly how I want it. So it's still my product.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I edit every single video because you still clean it up and do all this stuff.
It's like a good TV show host being the producer as well, like, you know, making sure everything's
perfect. So you have to have that producer mind in everything you create, and when you're shooting, you're also thinking about the editing. Like, you have to say things in a way that tells a story throughout the whole the whole thing. So over time, you sort of get this like sense of how to create the story of. You can almost like visualize it in your timeline when you're out there, like on the streets.
Yeah, interesting. And lastly, what do you think of this region? Do you think of it as an area where you can explore from travel and food? And do you think it as an area where, I know, Will, Trevor, you're starting to live here now as well.
Yeah, loving it here.
So is it something that people will engage with your content here as well? I know different language, but...
I think so. It's just like a great place to be, a great place to live, lots of food, lots of content to be made.
Yeah.
I found it really one of the best food cities we've been to.
Yeah.
Just because it's...
And Abu Dhabi.
Food countries.
Yeah.
Because it's so international here, with people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the strong parts about it here.
And have you been to other cities in the Middle East?
Not too many yet. Yeah, we're just settling in. Yeah.
You've just recently moved.
Recently moved, yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy you said that, because we're planning on doing a food video together, and I had no idea that UAE was like known for having really awesome.
It's good food here, yeah.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. And what about you, Will? Do you travel around the Middle East much?
Not so. No, I don't get here so often.
Yeah.
I've been around just mostly Asia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's a big place. Like, there's lots of countries.
Yeah. But I definitely want to explore more, and I will be. I'm going to Oman next week.
Okay.
And then I'm touring Abu Dhabi. After Oman, I'll come back here to tour Abu Dhabi for 4 days, and then I'll meet up with him in Dubai and do a food trip.
Brilliant.
So.
Yeah. That'll be a good flavour of it. Yeah, amazing. Well, thanks so much
Thank
guys
you.
for your time today.
Thank you very
really
much.
Interesting talking to you.
That was really nice. Thank you.
Likewise.